Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good morning and very good day. Before I proceed, I would like to say this is because this is our actually not so final class, but this is before the midterm break. However, for degree student, we do not have any midterm break. But my planning to you all, I wish to just resume and continue as well as usual, posting the video during the Hari Raya Eve. Okay, so I hope you don't mind on that. And at the same time, um, I just want to tell you all. Today I will conducting on topic 4, and for those who are already submitted the assignment, thank you so much to Moodle and email me. And for those who didn't yet, and for those who are already submit email to me, please proceed to submit in the Moodle. Okay, and all right, so I will moving to the options for going into business. So this is topic 4, 4A. Okay, and you can see from here in the business we have many options. Okay, meaning to say the strategy when we want to proceed to the business, we have the option to choose which one that we want to proceed. Okay, and there is the three issues to consider before we going into the business. And you can see from the slide here, right? Okay, the first one, what are the personal goals and the abilities of the owner or entrepreneur? As you can see, this is the basic one that I have recapped back from the previous slide regarding the goal of the entrepreneurs and how actually the entrepreneurs and the owner actually want to achieve in their business. Okay, so that's why this personal goals is related too much. Okay, because it actually some the motivation that drive that ambitious of the ambition and also the ambitious dream of the entrepreneur. And the second one, what resources are available to the business owner in terms of what is basically the raw resources, raw materials, for example, the money. Okay, we're talking about capital, startup capital. Well, maybe you get from your own saving, or maybe from your granted money from the government, or maybe you get from some angel investor who want to invest towards your business. So that is the money come from. And for the staff, of course, when we want to run the business, of course we need the staff in order to make sure that they can help us in order to do our to produce our resources in the efficient and productivity. Okay, I mean like productive in the productive manner. And the last one, we're talking about the time. So basically, when we're talking about time here, is about how actually the time and duration that you take in order to accomplish for the first personal goals for the business, or maybe what is actually your strategy in order to launch your products, okay, to invent a certain services, for example. So how much the allocated time that you need. And the third one, what is the nature of the business opportunity? We are talking about what is the business opportunity and chances that you can grab outside there, okay, when you want to go. That's why they said from this the three issues that we have to consider when we proceed with our business. Okay. All right. And you can see for the next one. So this is some of the options. This is very popular question for this subject, especially because I see because they have the final task for this subject, right? So basically, this is the most popular one. So the option for going into the business, we have three major options that are available. Number one, they will be launch a new startup business venture, and then they will purchase an existing firm, and they will enter a franchise arrangement. If you still remember in topic 3, I had touched about the franchise system, how the business under the franchising itself. Okay, and then um, if you want to start with like launching a new startup, mean to say like your sole proprietorship business. Okay, so meaning you are starting the business from the scratch. So this is you are will going to, okay, that is launching a new startup business. Or maybe the second strategy by purchasing an existing firm. So this is regarding the stability, whereby the business is already there, but maybe in terms of the operation is not so well been managed, so they have to stop the operation. And in terms of the financial, okay, financial constraint, or maybe in terms of the operation itself, maybe it actually make the process of the business have to be stopped, okay, or maybe have to be stopped for a while, or maybe they decide to stop 100% operation. So that's why the another company will purchase the existing food. The good things when we're purchasing, okay, for example, like what happened now, right? As you, every majority of you know, when the Tesco is being purchased by Lotus Company, Lotus Company is retailer company from Thailand. So this is something like they're still maintaining, but you can see the brand in terms of the image itself, the logo have been changed for a while, right? And the color, but they still maintaining because this is regards to the existing firm. So people, they don't want to be like the people, especially the consumer, confusing with that. So the brand name is still there. Okay, and the last one, enter a franchise arrangement. The good things about franchise, because people already know the brand itself. Okay, so do like the second one just now, people already know the business, and in terms of the recognition from the customer do not take a lot. And it's in terms of the marketing itself also they don't need to have to do a lot of work, okay, because franchise have their own arrangement, yeah, and they used to have the franchisee to do all as the management, and the franchisee is just supply all the needed, okay, by the franchisee. All right, so we're moving on to the advantage. It's almost similar if you realize, okay. I do actually touch this one in topic three, but they used to know what is the advantages and disadvantages, and I believe that I don't want to see it, but I believe that it's just recap back because they want to see how actually the best business that can be used to the business option. Okay, let's we see. Okay, there is pro and cons. Of course, when we want to do the business, right, there will be like pro and cons on here. I'm so sorry, I have to get a very little smaller because you can see like this, right? Okay, they have the advantages and disadvantage when we are starting a new business. So the first one, we're talking about the advantage. Of course, we are talking about the business itself. It start with you yourself, you as the entrepreneur, you are the sole proprietor. And of course, in terms of the advantages, you may control the business direction without have the interference from others. Okay, so I believe that this is the best thing because you have majority, or what we call controllable, okay, in terms of this controlling the business direction. And the second one, we're talking about the flexibility. In terms of the flexibility, I believe that in terms of how you, when you want to open up your shop, when you want to close down your shop, okay, I mean like in terms of the operation itself, you have this flexibility because the power is in your hand, okay, the decision is in your hand. So in terms of the flexibility, you no need to wait for the upper management, you no need to wait from the board of director to do that, because the flexibility is goes to you, okay. And in terms of the cost minimization, want to start up the business, you no need to have like multiple billions of the business, because uh it start from small, from scratch, right? So in terms of the the cost will be very very minimum. If let's say you have in hand like what, 1,000 or maybe 500 to start up your online business, for example, you can start with it. No one will bother on that, okay, because you know how to manage your business, then the business is growing. And the fourth one, in terms of the lifestyle goals, depends on the entrepreneur itself. Because if the business is very disciplined, okay, you manage to do on time, okay, you serve the customer well, okay, I believe that this one will be more on the individual itself. You can't say that every single business in what we call a new startup, new venture business is totally they can survive, because it's not all. because in order to go further, to go grower, okay, and more bigger, somehow it start from the small business, right? And I believe like a baby itself, when they want to have the large step like what we have today, they start from the small step, baby step, right? So that is the lifestyle goal, meaning to say it based on the entrepreneur how actually they manage to control and manageable, okay, their business. All right, and then for the disadvantages, they have a raising capital. Of course, in term parts of why this it put in here under disadvantage, because it's very difficult to raise up the capital because number one, I believe that because it's alone, okay, because you are the only one of the business sole proprietor, and then you can't sell your business to anyone else. I mean, like your stock, for example, right? Even you want to join in a kind of listed stock company, also it will be very difficult because of the small representative of your business. And then the second one, lack of the customer base. In term of the customer, maybe it's just touch and go. Can you get me? So meaning to say, they don't have a very proper, but unless okay, the entrepreneur have maybe do some development, maybe the entrepreneur itself they have their own capability to do like more on IT skill to put like saving all the customer particularly information in one site, for example, right? So maybe they can keep that, but generally they don't have, okay, they have still practicing manually, okay, just based on recognize the customer itself, and they don't have the proper customer base on that. And then the third one, in terms of the cash flow problems, I told my students because my diploma student also take the same subject, this one, right? Okay, when talking about the cash flow, this mean like in and out of the money, debit and credit. So when you actually mix up, okay, between the personal money, your own money and business money, this will be like a problem to the business itself. So the main problem is you have to make sure that your cash flow should have like a proper one, like at least like a ledger book, okay, to make sure that you can record all the transaction, okay. Why it become problem here? Because the cash flow, okay, you maybe have more expenses, but in terms of to in the money, okay, in terms of credited the money towards your business is very difficult. The money is always cash outflow but no more cash inflow on. So when you actually have the proper record on that cash in and cash out, so you know, okay, when is the time that I shouldn't do this, and when it is time I should do this, okay. So that is the problems. And the last one, learning curve expenses. This is I told just now. It's regards to how actually your spending, your expenses. If you not actually have the proper recording on this, so there will become problem. Okay, because the money is just only cash outflow. Okay, cash outflow is just going out, and they don't have the proper on cash inflow. Okay, so the next one, there will be like a typical outlay for the startup venture. As you can see in here, uh, this is the thing. Okay, we need when we as a sole proprietor, when we want to start the business, what is the requirement that basically that you have to ready for that. Okay, the first one, they call as the licenses and permits, like in Malaysia we do have like many municipal body, right? So like if you are living nearby in Masara, we do have Majlis Pembandaran Petaling Jaya, or maybe you have Majlis Pembandaran Kajang, or maybe you have Majlis Pembandaran Ampang Jaya, or Dewan Bandaraya Kuala Lumpur. Okay, the licenses is belong to municipal body, or maybe typically you must have like SSM, okay, or CCM. Like this one I'm talking about in Malaysia perspective, okay. Like you have to register whether you are online business, whether you are offline business, you have to register with CCM, Company Commissioner Malaysia, meaning to say you have to register your business and you should have this license. And of course the permits. Okay, the permits is not just only for the workers itself, but the business permits. The permits is to ensure that the business is legal and registered with the body of the government that involving the business. Okay, the second one, working capital. Of course, we need this one because this is the thing that we need in order to do the spending. We want to do something like budgeting on our side of the cash flow. That's why working capital is very important to be recorded. Okay, to make sure that we know where is the money goes. And then the third one, telecommunication and IT. Of course, basically we not just only need handphone, but people said handphone, smartphone is already there, but we need somehow like computer, or maybe we need some laptop, or maybe like gadget in order to make sure we need some what we call internet connections. Meaning if let's say you are doing online business, basically this is the most important one. Okay, internet connection stability, because uh during this COVID-19, yeah, okay, I'm taking is generally because nowadays is we're talking about the world of IT. So if your business is left out and maybe obsolete and outdated, so you will be actually left by those who are trending in the business. And then number four, operating plan and equipment, meaning to say, operating plan in here is not your plantation. It's not about your your trees, your flowers. Operating plan in here meaning to say your work site. Okay, where is the place for your workstation? And also the equipment used in order to make sure that you can operate your business. And then the next one, we do have the staff recruitment. We need the people being hired to help you to assist them to make sure that the operation of the business can be continuing. Okay, and then insurance. Of course, insurance is not just only for your workers, but also for the business itself. Okay, the insurance of the company, the insurance of the employees. And then the raw materials, of course we need like transportations. Okay, the materials that you need in order to process, okay, your products. And premise, if let's say the premises is like you just start at home. Okay, so maybe you know it, you have like a couple to like killing birds with the one stone, killing the two birds with one stone, right? At the same time, that is your house, that also your business. Okay, maybe you can actually have a lot of saving costs by using your home. But in here, if let's say you rent, okay, you rent a space, or maybe like shop houses, or maybe like rental houses for this in order to operate your business. Okay, and of course the office supplies. Let's say you need like a table, a chairs, a computers, or maybe some lockers. Okay, and to operate as such as office. Okay, now we're moving to the next one. How we want to reducing the startup cost. So this is basically what I had informed or discussed with you all before. We like start from home. Okay, so home based startup can be option to reduce the startup cost, meaning to say the rental cost can be slashed. Benefits of the starting an enterprise from home can include the reduced traveling cost, no rental fees, use of the existing household goods. Let's say your business is cooking, or maybe like more on food and beverages business. So basically not all things that you have to buy, especially those utensils, the mix blender and everything, is about like the gas, like the cooker itself. You can use everything that you have at home. That one you can actually reduce the startup cost. And when your business is growing and better in the future, maybe you can have like more to buy for your business itself. And then the issue to consider include the financial record keeping. I told you just now, okay, we have to make sure that we become disciplined when we are running the business. because of this, the financial record keeping, and then the local government's law we have to follow. Like in Malaysia, we do have like CCM, okay, and then we have to register with those the municipal body according to where is the place you want to operate in your business, and then we have the insurance cover. Not only just the building itself, not employees itself, but also maybe like the insurance for maybe transportation for the business, and also the personal security. So personal security, mostly we talking about like maybe in Malaysia we do also compensate under the SOCSO, meaning to say you have like insurance in order to protect you during you are doing the work. All right. So we moving on to the next one. The second options, which is said like purchasing an existing business. Okay, we also have these advantages and disadvantages. Where number one, for the purchasing an existing business, we can begin the trading immediately. If let's say the business is ready to maybe sold, okay, their business, so we are agreed to buy on that particular time, and easier to arrange the finance for the future because it's somehow we are cleaning their debt. Can I say that? Yeah, we clean their debt and we start our new business immediately, whereby the operation is already there, and establish the track record, the customer and brand, and basically they are already have their own customer. Okay, so when they have their own customer, meaning to say you no need to do a very effective marketing. You just continuing the legendary who are maybe they can't proceed with the business, and they just proceed. And then for the disadvantages, of course, they are less flexible than a startup, and basically we can say that why? Because we have the commitment. I can say less flexible because you have to how to say, to clean up the old debt. For example, this is happened that I told you before regarding a Asia company, right? They have to clean up the all the what we call bad debts, and then difficult to establish purchase price because it's based on the bargaining. The more skillful in bargaining that you can take, maybe the lower price that you can get by buying from the previous management, okay, and may inherit existing liabilities. When we're talking about the purchasing existing business, the most commonly that people means that demotivated to proceed with the business because the liabilities, okay, because mostly it's come from the company who are very problematic. Okay, all right, and then we're moving on to the next, establish a purchase price. So they have major techniques on this. They have market based valuations, asset based valuations, and then also they do have the earning based cash flow valuations. So the most appropriate method to use is often very subjective. They say it's very subjective decision in here because it based on what is the current situation happen, and it based also on the industry and the specific trends on that. All right, now we're moving on to the next one. Okay, how we want to do this market-based valuations. Okay, the first, the going market rate method, the current market price for the particular type of firm. So meaning to say the selling price equals to the selling price of the similar firms that they're based on the industry itself. So maybe they can do some comparison in the market. If let's say you are in the F&B business, you want to sell, how much that you want to sell for the cost of this business. Okay. And the second one, revenue multiplier, multiple multiple multiplier. Okay, multiplier, revenue multiplier method. The common industry multiplier is used to calculate the purchase price. So selling price equals to turnover. Okay, how much it's turnover, and times with the standard industry multiply. Okay, multiply. And also we're moving to the book value based on asset based valuation, includes all the asset and liabilities as recorded, meaning to say the existing business, how much they left the asset. Okay, and the selling price equals to tangible asset plus intangible asset deduct by liabilities. So this formula is quite familiar to us, right? It's like you are calculating on your balance sheets. Okay, all right. So this is uh the the including all of that. So that's why you can know how much your book value. And then the adjusted book net asset value. The book value is adjusted to reflect the current true value of all asset and liabilities, and the price may reflect the firm's goodwill. Basically, because yeah, you are the first hand company, and when it come to the second hand, meaning to say you are the second owner, and whatever that the goodwill you have, right, the tangible asset or intangible asset, they might be depreciate indirectly. So this is what they try to say. Okay, that they will have some like effect in terms of reducing and decreasing the price. Okay, and then we're moving on to liquidations value. Value of the business if it was to be broken out and sold as the individual assets rather than the continuing to operate it as the going concern. So they may represent the vendor's bottom price. Okay, how much the very basic price that you want to give to us, huh? Ngam ngam soy, it's like in Chinese they say like ngam ngam soy is like how much they like chin chai, like the price is the most bottom that you want to give, all right. And the replacement value, the business value equals to the cost of replacing all the firm's tangible asset at the current market assets, so they may represent the buyer's maximum price. So this one is more basically giving like how much the value of the business, so it's still based on the maximum price that you can offer. So it depends, okay, how the negotiation be made among the purchaser and also the seller. Alright, and then earning based, the cash flow valuation is based on what we call so-called as return on investment (ROI). So it's also called as the capitalized value method, and it's a very widely used. And why is it? Because this is the most that people can see. Yup, this is the profit that I can get. And assume this and return is reflected in price, and the formula includes the estimate future profit earnings. Okay, why people mostly, okay, the business out there, they prefer on this because of they can see the earning, the future profit earnings. Okay, but by calculate on this, okay, they can see it. So they say in here ROI must be converted into decimal, so they will go with the most slightly nearer to the decimal. All right. So this is the question mostly asked, okay, whether this is the right things to do, buying a business, okay. So the buyer should conduct a due diligence study. So you have to do a very thoroughly, meticulously research, okay, because this is not a simple just like you buying a fish, you buying uh you're buying your food, okay, because this involves a very high cost, okay. So that the reason they say in here the buyer should have a diligence. Diligence means very carefully, very meticulously before you proceed with your decision. Okay, the question should be related to the reason for sale. Why you want to sell the business? I mean, like why that particular party want to sell their business and why you want to buy. Okay, and the second, existing staff. Is it the staff you want to remain and continuing employment? Now, this is what happened to Asia before, okay, uh, they have to just take all the employees because they think that where the employees want to go. If let's say the business is shut down, okay, and they have the accrued leave, okay, continuous leave on that. Accrued leave, meaning to say they give like compensation leave to you, okay, where they have some like transformation between a company to the B company. B means B management, from A management to B management. And the current liabilities, including the taxation debts. So this is the most that very widely popular issue when we're talking about existing business, and the transferability of the license and the permits. how much that you want to go for this. Okay, and the transferability of the intellectual property and intangible asset. And the last one we have leases, the stock, and also the assets. Okay, so this is the question to be asked. Okay, and the other issue to consider is consider the inclusion of restraint of the trade clause in the final contract of sale. So basically, the company will be hire some like a lawyer to make this agreement and to make sure that the agreement is not biased. Okay, and of course, it should be not hidden message. Okay, so that's why it have to be very transparent. And the considerability of the ancillary costs, okay, ancillary costs which may cost include the legal fees, okay. Of course, the lawyer is making their money and the agreement have the value and we have to purchase the agreement, the accountant fees, the valuation cost, the government tax and the bank fees. So this is basically like whatever that we want to do agreement, this is the thing that we cannot deny. Okay, we have to pay on that. All right. So we moving on to the next one. The third options whereby we have entering a franchise system. So what is franchise system? Okay, like me, I like to make a very simple word is the business that basically we have the two party involved where we have the franchisor and we have the franchisee where in the end the franchisee have get the lease and rights, okay, from the franchisor to use all the intellectual property, and at the end of this the business franchisee have to pay royalty to the franchisor. All right, so in here they say arrangement where the owner of the business product or operating system permits another business to sell these goods, okay, and or to use the business operation system. So basically, they said the franchisor is the business or individual who own the rights to the system or product, okay, and this is the franchisor, of course, the owner of the business or franchise business, and the franchisee is the business or individual who operate the system or sell the product under contract or license from franchisor. So this is the thing that they have the particular in mind, okay, what they want to do and what they want to have it. Okay, and then the nature of franchising, okay. A licensing arrangement, small firm receive permission to sell the product or service from the established parent organization, but remain legally independent of that parent. So they said, they receive the permission, meaning to say, whatever that you want to do, the parent company is franchisor, right? So it's it's actually more like franchising license is almost similar, but they have the independence in terms of the parent can give the permission on to use all the intellectual property, and typically have the lower failure rates than the new startups. Okay, because why? I told you before in the introductions, because this business have the recognition. Can I say that? Recognition and recognized by the customer itself because of the branding. And the third one, goods for the small business owner who seeking security. Security meaning to say the franchisee. Okay, they used to have secured by the from the franchisor because the business is there. You just follow it. And the less suitable for the entrepreneurial type. So for those who are very ambitious, you want to invent your own products, your own services. So this kind business is not so called very suitable to you. Because it's less suitable. You cannot go beyond of that, but because they have their own rules, in the franchising agreement. Okay. So we do have types of the franchise. Okay, product franchise, a license to sell a particular good or service. So the franchisee is the distribution mechanism, has more room to decide how their firm operates. So they based on the products. Okay. So I might say that you see like Coca-Cola, Coke, okay, right, Pepsi, everything single of the carbonate drinks, right? The original license is come from United States, of course, and the product franchise, okay, mostly they used to have from the US license, and there will be like rebottling, repackaging, and reproduct this product in Malaysia. They're not used to import this product from the US country and here. No, they have one company called Permanis, Permanis in Berhad. You can check at your Cabernet drinks. Okay, they used to do get the licensing. Okay, they used to have this licensing to how to say that to product to sorry to produce the product. To produce the product here, meaning to say, they have the rights in order to not reproduce, produce this Coke, Pepsi, any kind carbonate drinks in Malaysia. Because they get the license from United States. And so do in Malaysia we have like halal drinks, right? So that one should get from Jakim, okay, in order to make sure they have like this license, okay. Okay, when we're talking about how to say that this thing, sorry, a student. Okay, where am I? Okay, the business, they said franchise is a distribution mechanism, has more room to decide how the firm want to operate. Like Malaysia, of course, they need some like procedure, because this one the license you get from uh how to say that they want to, okay, they have no, okay, Malaysia traditions, we used to have like, not tradition, this is our standard of procedure since this COVID, right? So if you want to produce food or drink in Malaysia, you have to make sure that you have to make sure that your company is applying like halal certification and also halal logo, to make sure that your business is solely legal uh, in this kind of Malaysia environment. So that's why they say in here, franchisee is a distribution mechanism, has more room to decide how their firm operates. So if let's say in another country, maybe they don't need like to apply for the halal certification and so on. But in here, they used to have that. Okay. And the second one, business system franchise. Franchises supply the product and detailed guideline about how business is run, and the business processes and operation have already been pre-tested by the franchisor. So business system franchise is like McDonald's, KFC, Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, every single that you can see, the how to say fast food that bring and entering Malaysia. This one is business system, because basically all the appliances, okay, the equipment they use the same. Okay, all right. And for the advantages of franchising, okay, they said in here, okay, um, basically, the new business owner does not have to develop their own operating, staffing, marketing system. I told you before, because it's already established. So they said in here they have actually reducing the time waste by learning by mistake, because it's already been tested by the successful franchise. Okay, so they don't actually harm their business itself, because they already have the successful one. And the third one, the product or service is already well established. I told you, because it's been recognized by the customer and the suppliers as well, and all the support system around them. And franchisor just provide continuing training and support to make sure that they have a similar and standardization of franchise, how the production and the operation been done. And in terms of the lower cost of the raw materials and supplies, because they get from all, maybe one suppliers all the franchise is refer to that. Okay. For example, like McDonald, they want to get like raw materials like their chicken patty, beef patty, or the vegetable, the salads, everything, right? They go to one owner, and of course, they might have their own specific who is actually will supplies all the raw materials, and of course, in terms of raising capital can also be easier, because it depends. The more bigger of this franchise business, the more actually they can raise up the capital. Okay, then the disadvantage of the franchising, okay, of course, they are more expensive than startup ventures. Okay, maybe to start, maybe you need like half a thousand, I mean like half 50,000 for example. I do not know because I never have like experience to do some like maybe chit chat to those the franchisor owner, but I've been uh have some like my reading. I do my reading. They used to say it's like with the five figures on that. Of course, when you have the, for example, place, maybe land for, maybe you want to open up at your hometown, maybe McDonald's. There is no McDonald's at your hometown, for example. So if you have that place, they can just start up with the capital money, okay, and yeah, you can running the business. They will give you the training and so on. Okay, the purchase price is often very quite high. Yeah, of course, because this is most commonly that are very how to say, the business is already been recognized, established, and franchisee have to pay a proportion of their profit to the franchisor, and that one that we call as the royalty, royalty payment. And the franchisees are restricted to the geographical area. Let's say maybe in like McDonald is widespread around the world, geographically, but I believe that if they say in one location they do already have like one branch or one franchisee in there. So maybe you can take a place another nearby also, but maybe it takes some consideration on that because we have like very intense competition, and then they have to must comply with the franchisor direction. What is the rules and regulation? It depends on the franchisor, and limited durations of the franchise agreement. So mostly what I, from my readings, okay, is 5 years one. Let's say you start up the business in 2021, by 2026 you have to renew your agreement. If you still want to proceed, you just go ahead. If you don't want, you will withdraw from that business. Okay, so this is actually the comparison. Okay, in terms of the startup, purchase, franchise. So you can see the factors in here. Actually, this table is like summarized for all the three strategies. Again, when the risk of failure high, moderate, low, you can compare in here. I leave it to you to read your own here. And the procedural step when starting a new venture, the framework provide a structure for evaluating and acting upon an intended project. Okay, and it been stated here. Okay, designed to be conducted in a sequential lockstep manner. So meaning to say, step by step. Okay, you cannot just go like from A just direct to Z. No, you have go B, C, D until Z, like procedural. And the idea can be aborted before too many resources have many committed to the project. So you can get actually exposure of what the idea for those who are experienced in this field, so you can have like some their point of view on this, whether where should I go with the startup new venture, or maybe purchasing new existing business, or maybe I have go to franchising. All right, and then the process of going into the business, number one, do the market research. So this is very important, market research, what the idea that is very viable and very demanding, or very have like demand. And the second one, check the statutory requirement, because sometimes maybe you, if you ask 5 years back, okay, there is no COVID after all, no pandemic after all, and the business is just more on offline rather than online. But right now, because of this pandemic, you have to follow certain SOP. You have to make sure that your business have equipped with like temperature checking, and then you have QR codes, okay, and what to do SOP, how many buyers per when entering your entrance, where is the in and out entrance. You can have the same entrance for both your permits, for example. Can you meet all the regulatory requirement to proceed to register like CCM? And then access resources. Can you obtain all the needed, for example, like facilities, equipment, and insurance? Okay, so we have to make sure that yeah, they used to have this, okay. And of course, the facilities, equipment, insurance have to be proper managed in order to make sure that you want to make sure that your business is running well. And then number four, buy, start, or franchise, which will be best help you success in the business. Which is the best. So I just encourage if you want to start up your business, this might be help you much this table, okay. So you can do some research, okay, you can do some thinking, okay, you can have like where to go, and then yeah, where to choose, actually not where to go. Perform financial projections, is it viable, okay, how much that maybe you have doing your business before, is it um how to say that, is it really um worth, okay, for how much that you have invest towards your business. And number six is about write up the business plan, okay, put your ideas on the paper and make it the dreams come true. All right, and then we're moving on to the part of to wrap up this topic, okay. Before deciding to go into business, entrepreneurs need to consider personal goals, resource availability, and business opportunities. And they have three different ways of getting into business, which whereby we have starting a new business, buying an existing operation, or entering a franchise. And finally, they have the six steps involved in organizing business launch projects. So I stop in here. Okay, I will share the link to you after the Google have processed on this video lecture for topic 4.E. All right, thank you for now. Have a nice day. Please take care during this pandemic. Okay, make sure you follow SOP, and yeah, let's flatten the curve together, inshallah. And for those the Muslims, uh, salam Idul Fitri to you all. And yeah, let's not too much have yeah with this raya. Just be modesty, right? Okay, and thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and take care. Bye bye.